Exhaust pops and bangs. Popcorn maps, backfiring, come under many different names. But what exactly causes that noise that petrol heads go crazy for? And more importantly, how can you do it? If you're not already, guys, please think about subscribing to the channel by hitting that button down below and stay tuned. So not every car is going to be capable of backfiring straight out of the box. Some cars come mapped with it on, such as this, the Jaguar F-Type. Others, you'll need a custom remap or modification to your ECU's tuning to make this happen. And what's happening is unburnt fuel from the engine is travelling down the exhaust and is igniting in the exhaust or as it comes out the exhaust, creating an explosion, which is the noise we hear. But wait, engines are designed to burn fuel. How does unburnt fuel come out of the engine? Good question. So you may have heard of the term spark cut or overrun. What vehicle manufacturers or tuning companies can do is they can configure the mapping on the ECU to cut the spark to the spark plugs when you come off the throttle, and that gives you the fuel overrun on the off throttle. The engine is pumping fuel into the engine, there's no spark to ignite it, so unburnt fuel is passing through the cylinders into the exhaust. As that unburnt fuel travels through the exhaust, because the exhaust is a very hot place to be, it ignites and it creates an explosion. And that's what we know and love as crackles, pops and bangs, exhaust backfire. And it's become somewhat of an obsession in the car scene in recent years. And it's not hard to see why. It really is cool. It does bring out the inner child in everybody. But all of that raucous fun does come at a cost. It does add risks to the mechanical well-being of your car. It's not going to write your car off in 10 miles, do not get me wrong. But what it does do is it puts unburnt fuel through your catalytic converters. They're not designed to have unburnt fuel through them, they're designed to lower emissions. It can cause premature wear to the cats. And in very extreme cases, it can cause bore wash if too much fuel is put into the cylinders by a mapper who necessarily isn't doing the right thing or hasn't got quite the correct parameters for your car on that custom ECU remap. But let it be said, these are few and far between. Yes, I have had to replace a cat. I'm waiting for the second one to go. But, you know, the early Jaguar F-Types were known for this. This isn't an early one, but still they are known for cats failing. But it doesn't mean your car's going to fall apart in 10 seconds if it's popping and banging. Do not quote me on that. So, enough of a science lesson, if you can call it that. Let's talk about how we actually make this happen. So, the easiest way to learn is to find yourself a nice, long, straight, wide, empty bit of road. Yeah, it's the UK, where are we going to do that? Let's try and find somewhere. So what we want to do, we want to, if you've got them, get your exhaust valves open, get that exhaust flowing as freely as you can. So pop your car into whatever mode in your vehicle opens up those exhaust valves. And what we're going to want to do is get some of that unburnt fuel into the exhaust. So to do that, we're going to bring the car up to about 3,500, 4,000 RPM. There we go. Then we're going to come off the throttle and then just gently tap it to open up that throttle butterfly again and put some more fuel into the exhaust. And by gently tapping the accelerator, what we're doing is we're just introducing more fuel into that and coming off the throttle and letting that spark cut come in, which puts fuel in on the overrun. Now when you get used to that, try bringing it up a bit higher, say 5,000 RPM. Watch this. That is phenomenal. That is phenomenal. It just brings out the inner child. Now, level 3. We've done level 1, which is 4,500. Level 2 was bringing the revs up a bit higher. So let's now have a look at level 3. And for that, you need a hill. So, in the name of education and science, we have come to the top of Goodwood Hill. What a view, that's stunning. So why do we need the top of a very big hill, I hear you ask? What we want to do is we want to keep the engine speed high, so that all that fuel can be flowing through the engine and the exhaust, igniting and causing those pops and bangs. By going down a very big hill, we keep those engine revs high thanks to gravity. So let's get down the hill, let's feather the throttle, and let's see how much raucous noise we can cause. So we're approaching our descent. Dynamic mode on, exhaust valves open. This will look different in every car, but for the F-Type, you could even knock it over into Sport if you want. I'm using manual, so it doesn't make too much of a difference. And we just want to get the revs high, and then use the hill to pull us down. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. Wow, that is how is Jaguar even allowed to produce something that does that? But you can really see how having that gravity pulling you down a hill allows those pops and bangs to go on for so much longer. I don't know what was going through their head when they made this car. It's phenomenal. This is off the shelf. This hasn't been modified. This is as Jaguar made the car. It just brings out the inner child in you. I defy anyone to just not find that A, incredibly hilarious, and B, addictive. There's probably a point in this video somewhere where I should say about noise disturbance, disturbing the peace, not being antisocial in your driving, all of that good stuff. We'll find it in the video somewhere, I'm sure. I'm just waiting for that check engine light to come on to tell me I've had catalytic failure. I've already had it once. Spoke about it in my cost of ownership video, and it wasn't cheap. It was about, I think it's about £1,800 to replace one catalytic converter for a genuine Jaguar catalytic converter. I think if the second one goes, I'm going to buy a pair of sports cats, which are about the same price for a pair as I paid for one of them. So yes, not fun. So why don't all cars do that out the box? Well, to most consumers, people who aren't into cars, who aren't petrol heads, it's pointless. You're dumping fuel for no good reason down the exhaust. It ruins the economy, it can put premature wear on certain components within the car. So for most consumers, it's pointless. But for petrol heads, it's a different story. So there we have it, guys. How to make your exhaust backfire on demand. Probably one of my favourite features of this car, and definitely one of the reasons why we bought this. The theatre of the soundtrack that goes with it is just bonkers. But that's it for another video, guys. Thanks for watching. As always, like, comment, subscribe. I do try to get around of as many of the comments as I can, so thank you to all of you who do drop a comment, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace. What was I saying about long, empty, straight roads? We're crawling at 3 miles an hour in traffic. Jinxed it. It's all my fault.